Welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Grace Telesco. I'm joined by my colleague and friend, Dr. Jennifer Allen. We're both from Fishler College of Education School of Criminal Justice at Nova Southeastern University. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Allen. We've combined our classes tonight. We both are teaching Police and Society, a PhD class in the PhD program in criminal justice here at NSU. And I thank you for allowing us the opportunity to have get one of our guests on tonight for our YouTube broadcast. And his name is Sheriff Wayne Ivey. He's the Brevard Sheriff. And if it were not for Dr. Allen, we would not know what Sheriff Ivey. We would not have known him. And what a find and what a treasure it is to have met him. He invited a group of us up to Brevard, and we had a nice little demo. He took us into his firearms qualification course, and we did some simulation work, and that was so awesome. And we got to meet the biggest star of the Brevard Sheriff's Department, Dr. Allen. You're going to have to someday come with us and meet him, Juno. Juno is amazing. He's an amazing sentient being. And so I just, in front of everybody, want to just say thank you, Dr. Allen, for this great introduction. What a great relationship we have now with the Brevard Sheriff's Department and with this sheriff. He's really amazing, and you guys are all in for a treat. So, Dr. Allen, anything before we both go off?
No, I just want to say thank you to Sheriff Ivey for showing up and for continuing to show up and talk with us on our YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you. All right, so I'm about to shut my video down too, but we'll be in the background, ready to pop in to maybe ask some questions. But I want to do a little bit of a lead in here. This is a police and society class that is housed within the PhD in criminal justice. So we talk a lot about what are some of the issues. What are some of the issues that face a sheriff, that face a commissioner, that face a police chief in terms of, the whole notion of fighting crime in a free society is sometimes a little challenging, to say the least. And so you have come up with what I would consider to be some of the most amazing strategies and innovations, particularly as it relates to social media and your use of social media as a tool to really enhance police community communications. And so I'm going to let you just take off a little bit, and then I'll pop back in with maybe some more questions that are a little bit more specific. Thank you again, Sheriff. Take it away.
First of all, thank you guys for allowing me to share some of the amazing stuff that we're doing at the Sheriff's Office. And I will tell you that I'm surrounded by an amazing team of 1,700 members of our agency, and they are the absolute reason for our success. I tell everyone that my greatest leadership quality is picking good people and getting out of their way. And a lot of the innovation, a lot of the programs you see, those are their ideas. Those are their ideas to come and reach out to our community. So I guess the best place to start is to start with a little bit about my career. And I've been a law enforcement officer for over 40 years now, fast approaching 44 years. And I've had a chance to see community policing change over those 4 decades, change from community policing where it didn't even exist to community policing where it existed in the capacity that you went into neighborhoods or you went to different civic meetings and you told them how many burglaries you had, how many cars had been stolen, how many bicycles had been stolen. And essentially what you were telling them was how many victims of crime there had been. And then we started transitioning, and social media hit the front and gave us an opportunity to immediately reach, and the key word tonight is engage our community. And so when I first became sheriff in 2012, I told our citizens that I wanted to get them vital crime prevention information before they become a victim, not after. I wanted to not come into the neighborhood and say, we've had 20 burglars. I wanted to come into the neighborhood crime watch meeting and say, here's how we keep from having 20 burglaries. So get them vital crime information, crime prevention information before they became a victim, not after. And so we started our process in 2012. We had 99 people following us on Facebook. And today, if you look at both of our Facebook pages, we have over 400,000 people following us. And so the entire premise behind everything was let's engage our community. Let's reach them however they'll let us reach them. So what you see us do on social media is just one part of it. We have email alerts that go out where our citizens that maybe are not social media savvy or are not in that generation where they're looking at it every day, they can sign up for email alerts. So we can send them vital crime prevention information. We can tell them we've got problems that on Interstate 95, a wreck that's locked traffic down. We can tell them we're looking for a vehicle that was involved in armed robbery. We can even reach out for them and tell them we're trying to get a pets adopted out of our animal care center. So that's one way. The second way is through using technology, through smartphone apps. We have smartphone app that is out. You can go to it, you can download it, it's free download. It allows you to do everything from track sex offenders to looking at jail first appearances, fugitives that are wanted, animals that are up for adoption. You can send us a tip anonymously, or you can send us a tip where we can contact you, all of that. And then we go to our social media outreach between Facebook and Twitter and the things that we do, Instagram, trying to reach all of our citizens. And it's not only a very effective way, it's a very efficient way to reach them, a very cost efficient way to reach them as well. And then it's a great tool for us. We have a lot of fun with it as you'll see as we go through tonight. So that was our goal. Our goal was to be able to engage our citizens, to get them involved. What kind of followed from that was a little bit of my personality, a little bit of my sense of humor, and just the fact that we have zero tolerance for crime in Brevard County. I tell everyone that crime will rise to the level of community will tolerate, and we have zero tolerance for it here in our community. If you look at some of the areas around the country where they're having significant crime waves, what you'll see is that they've turned a blind eye to certain crimes. They say, well, that crime's not important anymore, or we're not going to enforce that crime, we're going to enforce this crime. And what happens is crime rises to the level that a community will tolerate, and before long, they can't control it anymore. So we have zero tolerance. We've stuck with it for the last 9 years. Is it working? Between engaging our citizens, between our community outreach. I mean, really, when you look at social media, it is community policing of this century. Is it working in Brevard County? In the last 8 years, our crime rates dropped 44%. We're about to get our latest uniform crime report. And from what I'm being told from our analyst team, we're down another 15%. So we'll have over a 50% departure from our crime rate in 9 years, which is just almost unheard of. So the good news is we have a lot of fun doing it too. We do some crazy stuff, some off the wall stuff, some stuff that other sheriffs say, there's no way I could do that. But at the end of the day, it gives our citizens a chance to know who I am, to hear things directly from me, not get them second wave from the media or some other means. They're getting to hear straight from their sheriff and what's going on and what actually happened. Dr. Grace, you guys still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just, were you gonna pop that PowerPoint on?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it loaded yet. Hang on, I'm going to see if it did load. It doesn't look like it has. It's pretty good size.
It hasn't. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
we'll let it keep going until it comes on, because I really would like the
Yeah.
viewers to see like an example of
Yeah,
what
so,
you actually do.
You know, if one of your team wants to pull up our Facebook page, I'll talk about some of the different things we do. Probably one of the first things that really set the stage for us. And as I said, in 2012, we had 99 people following our Facebook page. And then you fast forward to today, and just on one page alone, there's 382,000 people that are following us across the globe. We have people following us from almost every country, every state. And, you know, crime prevention information that works in Brevard County, Florida, will work in Dade County or Broward County or Fargo, North Dakota. It's the same crime. Usually it's the same crime trend. So no matter where those individuals are viewing our stuff, hopefully it's helping them become better protected against crime. As I said, we have some fun. So really one of the first things that kind of set the stage for what we were going to do was Wheel of Fugitive. And when you see Wheel of Fugitive, if you haven't seen it before, it's just like it sounds. It's a big old giant wheel. It's got 10 fugitive on it every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. I spin it, and whoever it lands on, that's the fugitive of the week. That's who we're asking our citizens to help us find. And we started it because as I was out speaking to different organizations in our community, I was putting emphasis on how many fugitives we had. We had at that time about 3,000 fugitives. And so I was putting emphasis on, our efforts to get them off the street. And I jokingly said, I'd like a big old giant wheel where I spin it. And that's who we're looking for. And everybody started clapping. I decided to field test it again at another civic meeting. When I did, everybody started clapping. So I had a buddy of mine build the wheel. We launched the very first one. And the very first episode of Wheel of Fugitive we launched reached over 1 million people. And it just kind of took off. Other agencies across the country have started using it, and we trademarked it right when we saw the success of it. And what I didn't want was for a TV station or some different channel out there to grab it and make money off of it. I wanted it to be an effective tool for law enforcement. So we trademarked it with the exception that any law enforcement agency can use it. And it's actually gone in different directions now. Flagler County, for example, has fugitive bingo. Some other agencies do Wheel of Fugitive, and then some of them have a fugitive feud. It's pretty entertaining to watch. But what does it do? What it really does is it engages our citizens. It has them looking to see if they know the person. It has them watching to see what we're doing, the crazy stuff we're doing. Even the fugitives watch Wheel of Fugitive. And we know that because when we arrest them, they say, yeah, I saw myself on there. Or their inner circle sees it, tells them to go turn themselves in. Maybe it's their mom that's embarrassed because they're up there. Do we get some pushback? Absolutely. We'll have people that will say you shouldn't do it. You're being mean and you're not being nice, as we would say. This is what I tell people. There's a real quick way not to have your face on Wheel of Fugitive. Don't be a fugitive in Brevard County. You want to be a fugitive, go to another county and be a fugitive. But if you're here, you're going to be on that wheel. And I see our teams brought it up if they want to run it.
Yeah. If Brendan, if you could just make it full screen, can you do that? And let's make sure that you're sharing your sound too. You might have to unshare and reshare and click.
Can you hear that, Dr. T?
I can't hear it. No, we're not hearing it.
All right. Just give me 1 second, please.
I think you got to stop share and reshare, but make sure that you click the 2 little boxes on the bottom that say share video clip and sound.
Gotcha.
And while we're waiting, for those students who want to check your Facebook page out, you have 2 Facebook pages. You have one that's yours as a public figure, and then one that's the Brevard Sheriff's Department. Which one, if they had to choose?
So the 2 pages that are through the agency are Brevard County Sheriff's Official, which is the most populated page, and then Sheriff Wayne Ivey. But we put all the same content on both pages. And then I have a separate page that is my constitutional sheriff page, Constitutional Sheriff Wayne Ivey. And you can follow us on any of those. Of course, the most important page, though, is Where is Junie, our bloodhound that's the mascot. And he's out in his kennel right now eating, but you can follow Where is Junie also. But, as Brendan's pulling up the sound and everything, you basically see the layout. It's 10 fugitives. That's an actual wheel that a buddy of mine built for me. And go ahead. I hear the sound now.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. You want to know why I'm smiling? I'm smiling because it's time for Wheel of Fugitive. That's why you're smiling, because you're here. You are engaged in our community, helping us protect this community. I got 10 fugitives up on this wheel. All 10 of them need to find their way out of Brevard County Jail, but we need your help in doing it. So we're going to name one of them the Fugitive of the Week, but remember, all 10 of them need to find their way out of Brevard County Jail. Let's see who it is here in Brevard County. Folks, this week we are going to look for Samantha R. Dimondetto. Miss Dimondetto is a white female, date of birth 7/31 of 83. Her charges are violation of probation, reference possession of fentanyl. She has no bond. Her last known location is the Melbourne area. Now, Miss Dimondetto, we're going to ask you to do the right thing. Go turn yourself in. Go out to Brevard County Jail. Tell them you're here. You're ready to turn yourself in, ready to surrender, and let the judge know you want to get this chapter of your life behind you. Because if not, you know what happens. Your inner circle, somebody that knows you, in fact, probably the person you're hiding with, is going to call us and let us know where we can find you at. We're coming to get you and take you to jail. You know how they get a hold of us? They go to Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS. They send us a tip on our smartphone. They send us an email at wheeloffugitive@bcso.us, or they just simply send us a personal message on our Facebook page. Either way, they say, here she is, and there we go to get you. So go do the right thing. Go turn yourself in. As always, I want to thank our citizens for their amazing support of our agency. We'll see you next week on Wheel of Fugitive.
So when we first started Wheel, as I said, immediate success on it. As things progressed, the University of Central Florida actually did a study on the success rate of Wheel of Fugitive. And what they found is that 88% of the fugitives that were on the wheel, 88% of them within the first 3 to 5 days either went and turned themselves in or were captured because of a tip that came in. So, you know, we have great success with it. Not only is it fun to do, it's engaging to the citizens, and we have success. A lot of them will go turn themselves in. And when they do, we'll put them up on our Facebook page and thank them for going to turn themselves in, ask our citizens to give them words of encouragement that they're trying to turn their life around and get this chapter of their life behind them. I've had a number of them that were on the wheel that have gone and turned themselves in that I've run into at the store or at a restaurant somewhere that thanked me for putting them up there, that it was the turning point for them and they got their life straightened out and got back on the right track. So, you know, if we can bookend it, if we can not only get a bad person off the street, but get that person the help they need, get them back into a productive part of society, then we're working toward that goal of lowering our crime rate. Because I'll tell you, truly lower your crime rate is by being tough on crime, making sure there's an avenue back to success, back to productivity within the community. So, you know, that gives you an example of one of them we did. Now, as with everything else, you know, things don't always go as you plan. We're like, man, this is really good. And then the Daily Show picked up an episode that we did, and it was pretty funny because we did an all ladies, and we had music playing to it called Ladies Night. And I was actually dancing when it first came on. We did Ladies Night, and the Daily Show picked it up, and that video reached 5 million people. So, you know, again, you have those that love it, you have those that don't. But at the end of the day, our job is to put bad people in jail and protect our community. And the best way we can do that is through engaging our community. It's just like, historically speaking, when you went to the post office, you saw wanted posters, pictures there on clipboards. This is just a today's version of that and a little bit of different spin on it.
So Sheriff, we pulled up some other stuff. You also have fishing for a fugitive. So
Yeah.
You've got the wheel and we got fishing, and I think Brendan has cued that video. Can we show it?
Absolutely. You can show anything you want.
All right, go ahead, B, show it.
Sorry, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're fine. And
So
I was,
I'll go ahead and kind of set the table for how Fishing for Fugitives started. I come up with a lot of crazy ideas to do things. And again, just trying to different twists, you know, just trying to get our citizens where they're coming to watch our page for some humor. They're coming to watch it for information, all of those things. This idea
for Fishing for Fugitive.
Yeah, this idea actually came from another sheriff on the West Coast, called me up, said, man, I got a great idea for you. I said, if it's so great, why don't you do it? He goes, no, man, I don't have the guts to do that. But I know you do. And so he told me what it was. And I just thought it was an awesome idea. But the backstory to this is I had a chief deputy at the time. He just recently retired, but I had a chief deputy at the time I started Wheel of Fugitive that told me it was a horrible idea, that people weren't going to like it. It was a really bad idea for me to do. So I did it anyway. And of course, people loved it and it had great success. So when I got the idea to do Fishing for Fugitives, I went to him and said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this show where it's called Fishing for Fugitives. And he looked at me, he goes, "Oh man, I love that. I think it'll be great." So it kind of scared me a little bit because he'd been wrong about the other one. I was scared he was going to be wrong about this one, but it wasn't. This one's had some great success too.
Okay,
our
B.
weekly show where we try and hook them and book them. You know how that works. I cast out here, I try and get the catch of the day. Then our fugitive unit tries to get them out of the Brevard County Jail with your help. Let's go fishing for fugitives. So today I'm at Kings Park off of Chase Hammock. I'm a little bit surprised there's not more people out here fishing because it's such a beautiful area. But you know, I got to be honest with you, I'll go fish anywhere if I think I got a chance of getting a fugitive. And I haven't caught one here before, but you know what that means? That means I got a good chance of getting us a big old fugitive and landing us a great catch of the day. So run with it, come on. Oh, there we go. That's what I needed right there. Folks, here's our catch of the day.
Clifton Cody Williams is a black male with a date of birth of September 2nd, 1970, and is wanted for a bench warrant for failure to appear for arraignment reference driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked, habitual traffic offender. Mr. Williams has a $2,000 bond and is known to frequent the waters of the Cocoa area and was last hooked on June 1st, 2019.
All right, folks, it's time to hook them and book them. You know how it works. If you know where we can find our catch of the day, let us know by going to Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS. You can send us an email at fishingforfugitives@bcso.us, or you can just send us a personal message on our Facebook page. Either way, let us know where we can find the catch of the day at. We'll get the information to our fugitive unit. Now, if you're the catch of the day, you know what to do. Man up, go ahead and turn yourself in. Go out to Brevard County Jail. They'll get you right in a nice holding cell out there, save everybody a lot of trouble. That's what you need to do. You need to get this chapter of your life behind you, because if not, you're going to get to meet the fugitive agents real quick.
So now's probably the best time ever to give a big plug to our media production team. We have two full-time media production people that do just all the stuff for us. You can see their editing skills, their abilities. They have a lot of fun too. They go out in the field with me and do a lot of the things we do. But when you look at our outreach, when you look at that 400,000 plus people we reach instantly, the cost of having two full-time media people far is successful and outweighs the impact of it. When you consider that if we tried to do public service announcements and had an outside source film those for us and produce those for us, the cost would be astronomical. We wouldn't be able to afford to do the volume we do through things. So Mark and Megan do a great job at editing. Their supervisor, their manager, Debbie, is always looking at what's the next thing we're doing. Right now, for example, they're producing some public service announcements, just reminding people to lock their garage or close their garage door, lock their cars, things of that nature. And we're doing it kind of as a spoof off of the Rocket Mortgage commercials with Tracy Morgan, where it's better to be certain than sure, and or sure than I think so. And so teams working on that. We're putting all those together. But again, we just try and reach every demographic in our community, every point, to try and offer them something. We have another show that we produce. COVID kind of stepped us back a little bit just because of access to the facilities. But this one actually came from my wife. She was jokingly telling me one day that I didn't have a cooking show on our Facebook page. And she and I both like to watch the Holiday Baking Championship and things of that nature. So my sick mind in about 3 minutes came up with the idea for Cooking Up Justice. And I go to our local restaurants. I go into the mom and pop places. We don't go to the corporate businesses. We go to the mom and pop places. We show our citizens all about them, where they're at, where they're located. Their chef shows me how to make their signature dish. And then in the middle of it, when I'm putting that dish in the oven or we're about to plate it up, I ask everybody, I say, well, that's cooking up. Let's cook up a little Brevard County Justice. And we show a fugitive we're looking for, a cold case homicide we're trying to solve. It might be a burglary, whatever it is, but it's right in the middle of that. And then at the end, of course, is the best part for me. I get to taste the food and tell everybody to come on down.
Right.
The restaurants love it. The chamber loves it. Our team enjoys doing it, and it brings in a different audience. It brings in people that like cooking shows, people that are interested in the different types of food, and it highlights our mom and pop restaurants and sends business to them as well. When we do a Cooking Up Justice show, the business owner always tells me that their volume of business immediately goes up. Their call-in orders, everything else. So, I have this phrase that I use a lot here in our communities, and it's it takes a community to protect a community. And that goes so much further than just protecting them from having their crap stolen. It goes to, protecting our businesses, especially right now following COVID. So many of our restaurants were suffering, and our hotels. So we engaged in trying to get information out about them, getting people back into the restaurants, back into the businesses, because if our economy collapses here in Brevard County, we'll suffer, and crime will increase as a result. And I've told everybody from the very beginning, as impacting as the coronavirus was physically, the econovirus will destroy a community if we're not careful.
Yeah, exactly. So Sheriff, we have something called Hit the Streets.
Sure.
That's up. We got it ready. We got it queued. I actually thought it was Sheriff's High Intensity Target.
Yeah, so that's a different one.
So that's a different one.
Yeah, so Sheriff's High Intensity Target started because we had a residence in one of our communities in Port St. John that we had 94 calls in 106 days. And these were legitimate calls. These were not just neighbors that didn't like the person. These were stolen cars, Narcan deployment, overdoses, deaths, everything. 90 plus calls in 106 days. And so the neighbors were constantly complaining, bless their hearts, all the neighbors had installed video cameras, not on their property or not pointing at their property, but pointing at this other house to try and protect themselves because the volume of traffic from drug dealing, everything else. So I was just frustrated with it, and I decided to go stand on the street in front of this house, and it was Delaspine Avenue. I decided to go stand on the street in front of this house. I took some of our SWAT guys, some of my canines. We stood on the street, and I announced to the world that the house behind me was a problem house. The people in it were a problem. That anybody that came to that house was under constant surveillance. They were going to jail. And from this point forward, if they as much as spit on the sidewalk, we were arresting them and putting them in jail. The video, when we did it live. I went back to my office a few minutes later. The young lady that was running my social media at the time called me and said, "Sheriff, are you watching the video?" And I'm like, "Why would I be watching it? I know what I said." She said, "It's already reached." This was within about an hour and 15 minutes. It had reached 1 million people. To date, the last time I looked at that, it was right at 45 million people that viewed that video. So something I said in the video was that this house is the sheriff's high intensity target. And I'll let you do the acronym on Sheriff's High Intensity Target. It was meant to be pointed, the success of it. The next day, we arrested the homeowner for burglary of another house. We arrested several more people out. The house went into foreclosure. And believe it or not, a deputy now owns that house, bought it through the bank, and lives in that house. And the neighbors are just completely happy. We did it again at another house. And so we have the Sheriff's High Intensity Target reserved for those type of events. We've got another one we're about to do probably later this week. But then we came up with the show that you said you have queued up, and it's called Hit the Streets, High Intensity Target, Hit the Streets with Sheriff Wayne Ivey. And it's a street crimes task force. I'll let you see the intro. It's kind of a long show, but B, if you want to roll that up.
They say that crime will rise to the level a community will tolerate. In Brevard County, we have zero tolerance for crime. These are the stories.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey, and you're watching Hit the Streets, our latest crime-fighting initiative that targets criminals before they can target our citizens. Hit the Streets is a directed patrol unit that consists of patrol deputies, agents from our General Crimes Unit, and our fugitive squad, as well as canines and even our legal advisor, who all work together to arrest perpetrators in various areas throughout our county. Areas that have been identified by our crime analysts as high-intensity target areas for narcotic sales, drug usage, burglaries, and violent crime. Tonight, we hit the streets of Merritt Island after a briefing at our East Precinct, where we assigned our teams and discussed the hot spots that had been identified by our criminal intelligence analysts. Boy, it didn't take very long for the team to start making arrests either. Let's jump into our first case of the night when Deputy Taylor Dunn and Agent Hannah Polito attempt to stop a vehicle traveling eastbound on Needle Boulevard with illegally tinted windows. The vehicle doesn't immediately stop, and when it does, it finally stops in the area of BJ's Supermarket. Things take off pretty quickly as the occupants start moving around in the vehicle and initially appear to be reaching for something.
So if you kind of want to just let that roll without the volume.
Our canine alerted on the vehicle for the presence of narcotics, and the team conducted a subsequent search, finding marijuana in the vehicle. One of the occupants had a medical marijuana card, so no charges were filed on the suspect. But as a result of the traffic stop, our team determined that Curtis Gwinyard, who was originally driving the vehicle, was knowingly driving as a habitual traffic offender on a suspended driver's license. What first appeared to be the vehicle occupants reaching for something was actually Gwinyard trying to switch seats with the female passenger in an attempt to avoid arrest.
Did you want the volume off this?
Yeah.
As his driver's license
or
had
you
only
can
been
just,
suspended
you
since
just kind of pause it there.
2013.
Yeah, no, just pause it. Okay.
Yeah. So the concept of that is it's a street crimes unit. And if you notice the breakdown, we have 3 of our very aggressive deputies, 3 of our very aggressive agents. I have our legal advisor there. So if we need to write paper to do a search warrant or to do anything of that nature or reach out for a judge on a bond, our legal advisor there. I've got canines there. And we rely on our analysts to pull together data. Where are the overdoses? Where are the drug sales? Stolen cars? All of that. And then that street crimes unit that night, I'm out with them. I love to be out there. When I'm out there, I get to still act like I'm a law enforcement officer instead of an administrator. And we get to go have some fun putting bad people in jail. You notice one of the things I say is we target criminals. I don't apologize for that. They target us, we target them. And our citizens here in Brevard County love us for it. You know, they understand that government's one and only responsibility is to protect its citizens, and they know that we're out there doing that. And so it is a great time. I'm actually filming our next episode tomorrow night. Excited about it. The team loves going out there, and we go after fugitives that night. We go after drug dealers, hot spots where we're having overdoses, any of that. And as the program continues, if you watch deep enough into that episode, you'll actually see we have a suspect try and get away from us, climbs up in a tree, and the dog bites him in the leg. And we show all of it. We put it all out there and let everybody see the dangers that these men and women face every day, what they have to do to protect this community.
That's great. I also asked Brendan if he doesn't mind to try to pull up. There's a great one about Junie loving to swim.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if he's got that one pulled up, but I also asked him to show us there's good stuff.
Yeah.
Something called good stuff, and also beyond or more than a deputy.
Yeah. So there's a couple new things that we came out with, and I'll take them in kind of that order. When Brendan pulls up the swimming thing, some of the things we do are just little quick 30-second bursts. Just a quick reminder to our citizens. And we always try and mix a little bit of humor in that. This one will kind of set the stage or tell you a little bit about what we do on those.
Oh, we need volume.
There you go.
Does Junie love swimming?
BCSO. To arrive alive, don't text and drive.
So again, the concept is engage our citizens. It's 30-second video that people laugh at. Everybody in this community loves Junie. If you haven't ever seen Junie or you're not aware of him, he's my dog. He works for the sheriff's office, but he's with me everywhere I go. He's our agency mascot. We incorporate him into a lot of the stuff that we do because citizens actually will pay attention more to an animal than a lot of times they will somebody, a talking head that's trying to give them a crime prevention message. So again, engagement. That's what we're trying to do in reaching our citizens. We do, I don't want to use the term steal because that's probably a bad term for the sheriff to use, but we look at a lot of different things that reach people, a lot of commercials, things like that. And then as you can tell, that's the Geico commercial where the guy would come on and say, could switching to Geico save you $100? Do woodchucks chuck wood? And so we took that concept and we did a whole series off of those. And this is another one if you want to play it real quick. They're pretty short.
Social Security number away to solicitors and businesses make you a soft target for criminals? Does Deputy Paul Phillips have some huge guns?
BCSO. Protect yourself from identity theft. Don't give away your Social Security number.
So, we just put that up coming up on the holidays. We're just trying to give everybody those constant, subtle, but yet direct reminders of what we need them to do to help us protect the community. Again, getting them that vital crime prevention information, just a little reminder of things to do. So, we try and push those out on a regular basis. We build up like 10 of them and then we'll play one a week until we shift to something else from it. Those are great. The community loves them. The other thing that I really like about what we do is we engage all of our members. The deputy you just saw with the big arms there, that's Paul Phillips in June of 2015. 2017. Paul Phillips was shot in the line of duty. He was shot 3 times. Lucky to be alive. There he is for our citizens to see. And, it lets them know that Paul's there. He recovered, everything else. But it also engages our members in being crime prevention tools and resources as well.
So, Sheriff, we've got good stuff is queued.
Yeah,
Can you lead in?
Yeah, so the good stuff started because all we ever see on the news is bad stuff, especially in a time where there's a big push to defund or defame, as I like to call it, the police. In our profession, a lot of times people are driven to our profession because of pride, because of honor, because of their desire to serve. And so there's a big push across the country to try and defame police, to tarnish the badge. And, what I saw is that all you ever saw in the media was the bad stuff. And so we decided to start a show called The Good Stuff that shows all the great things our deputies do. So when one of our deputies goes into a burning house and saves a person, we do the good stuff. I started out, you'll see here in just a second if you want to play it, Brent.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and I'll bet you won't see this story on the evening news, because this right here, this is the good stuff. Like most of you, I hardly ever watch the news anymore because I'm tired of only seeing negative stuff and never ever hearing of all the great stuff that happens right here in our own backyard. So knowing that good stuff happens all around us every day, our agency decided to start a new program, The Good Stuff, so our citizens can enjoy hearing about the great work our team and citizens do to save, impact, and forever change lives. Stuff like what happened on Friday, October 15th, when our agency partnered with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office charity to make a dream come true for Jeff York, who had always dreamed of becoming a law enforcement officer. One of the things I learned a long time ago is just how blessed I am to be able to do this job. Not just the job of sheriff, but the job of serving as a law enforcement officer. Serving as a law enforcement officer is a job that I dreamed of as a child and was extremely fortunate to achieve. Some time back, though, I realized that no matter how much some children may dream of one day wearing the badge, it is a dream that will most likely never come true because of perhaps a terminal illness or a different ability that keeps them from being able to serve in our profession. For some, children and adults alike, the dream of wearing the uniform was always out of reach. Maybe because time was too short because of a terminal illness, a birth defect, or their different abilities somehow prevented them from being qualified for the job. While up to now that may have always been true, it's not anymore, as our agency and the Brevard County Sheriff's Office charity recently partnered together to launch a brand new initiative called Dream for the Badge. As part of this new initiative, kids or adults with terminal illness, a birth defect, or any other factor that has prevented them from achieving their dream of serving as a law enforcement officer now have the chance to serve for a day as a deputy sheriff with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. Our very first dream deputy was Jeff York, who is 59 years old and lives with his sister and her family, who look after him each and every day at their home. Jeff spends each day patrolling the neighborhood, writing parking violations to his family and neighbors, and doing his paperwork at his desk in the garage, which he calls his precinct. Jeff constantly reminds his family to always do the right thing, and if they don't, he and Sheriff Ivey will be coming to arrest them. With that kind of commitment to duty, Jeff was the perfect candidate to become our very first dream deputy. So on October 15th, we made his lifelong dream of becoming a cop a dream come true. Jeff, how you doing?
We're good. Sir Ivey.
How you doing, my friend?
Fine.
I understand you want to be a deputy sheriff. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we are here to make your dream come true, my friend. You're going to be wearing this today, Jeff.
Wow. Oh, why? Thank you very much.
As you can tell, Jeff was caught completely by surprise after his family told him they were going to spend the weekend at a hotel in Cocoa Beach. What Jeff didn't know was that the hotel was being provided by the Cocoa Beach Hoteliers Association, who are great partners to our Dream for the Beach.
So you saw what the good stuff's about. We do it with our deputies. Anytime one of them saves a life or one of them has an accomplishment, I just had 3 deputies yesterday run in the Space Coast Marathon, one of them qualifying for the Boston Marathon. So, that's something we'll put out through our own channels. One of the things that I learned, and that social media has been a dynamic tool for us, is I don't need the media to put our stuff out. I put our stuff out. In fact, the media now takes everything off of our page. They very rarely ask for an interview anymore because we're putting the news out to our citizens. And citizens want to hear from their elected leaders. They want to hear from the sheriff, the county commission. They don't want to get the little 20-second sound bite. They want to know what really happened. So we don't rely on the media. Don't get me wrong. I have great partners in the media that we work very well with. And I drop what I'm doing to go help them if they're asking me to do something. But at the end of the day, when you reach over 400,000 people, you're literally reaching more people than most media outlets are reaching anyway. So we're able to do that and push out our own messaging, push out our own successes. By the same measure, we also push out our own disasters. If we have a problem, something that happened bad in our agency, I don't rely on the media to tell the story. I do it myself. I go out there and you have to take the good with the bad. So, yeah. We try and be as transparent as we possibly can. Doc, you mentioned another show, More Than a Deputy. I will tell you to the thing that we were just showing and the good stuff, the Dream for the Badge. That day with Jeff, that was the very first one we've done. And I will tell you that of everybody in the room, all of our command team, myself, the deputy, Jay Martinez, who was his field training officer for the day, all of us later, Monday morning quarterback, and said, how can we do it better? How can we do this? But the one constant in there was that every one of us said throughout our careers, that was the greatest day of our career. Being able to see Jeff at age 59 years old achieve a dream because of something that we saw an opportunity to help somebody with was pretty impacting. I mean, I literally right now I have goosebumps thinking about him when we swore him in and seeing the look on his family's face. They flew in from Kansas. They flew in everywhere else to see him experience this day. And so, wow. But the More Than a Deputy that you spoke about is just what it sounds like. We have 1,700 members, and they're all great at what they do professionally. But there's some amazing talent within this agency that goes beyond being a deputy, goes beyond being a corrections deputy or communications or a records technician. And so More Than a Deputy highlights that, whether they're an artist, whether they're a baker, they're a knife, somebody that makes knives, a woodworker, whatever it is. More Than a Deputy highlights. And the other thing that it does, and one of the things that we've been successful in doing, is personalizing our agency to the community. People don't see a deputy. They see Brad Thomas, they see Gwen Lee, they see this and that person. And so we've been able to personalize it and create a true partnership within our community. My deputies tell me that they can rarely pay for their own meal in a restaurant anymore, because either the restaurant owner has told them your money's no good here, or a citizen has told them, our citizen has anonymously paid for their meal. And the restaurant owners tell me that the citizens are lined up 3 and 4 deep trying to pay for one of our deputies' meals. So it's a true partnership. And I learned a long time ago from a very close friend of mine, a guy by the name of Mike Blake. He's the mayor of Cocoa. Mike Blake had something that was very profound, and it ties into community policing, probably in the best fashion ever. Mike Blake said there's all sorts of ships out there. There's battleships, there's cruise ships, there's cargo ships. Heck, in our area, we have spaceships. There's all sorts of ships out there. But nothing calms rough seas like friendships, partnerships, and relationships. And we've been able to capitalize on all of that by creating friendships, partnerships, and relationships with our citizens. We're heavily involved in our community on the charitable side. In the last 8 years, we have helped raise almost $30 million for charities in Brevard County through our actions, through hosting events, through me going and doing auctions, all of the different things. We host the Haunted Jail Trail. We host Dancing for the Space Coast. All of that money goes back to charity. That's where it all goes to. And so it definitely takes community to protect the community. And we've definitely been blessed to have a community. As I tell everybody, our community loves us and trusts us and protects us just as much as we love, trust, and protect them.
Yeah. And I love that. I love the friendship, relationship, and partnership. I mean, that's key. And it's key really with anything. In fact, whether we're talking about the police or we're talking about the communities that they serve, it's about getting to know each other. It's about humanizing each other. And I love the, More Than a Deputy, because we've been so demonized, over this year and in the years that have gone by. So that normalizing and humanizing aspect is so important. So Sheriff, I have, Brendan has queued up my favorite, which is the sheriff's high intensity targeting. And maybe you could just give us again, I think you did speak about this video already.
Yeah, this is the second one we did. And, but same concept. Brandon, if you want to go ahead and play it, this is the sheriff's high intensity target. Well, that's the end of it. Actually, no, I'll take that back. That's the beginning.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and the woman you just saw put in the back of our patrol car is Beth Sarver Ashworth, who is one of the main troublemakers at the house located just behind me at 132 Bonita Street, Titusville, Florida. While Sarver is on her way to jail, her charges are for drugs, everything else. It doesn't change the fact that this house has become a complete nuisance here in our community. Everybody is over this house. The house has overwhelming of the majority of the people in it are a constant disruption to this community. They're a constant disruption to us, quite frankly, to our taxpayers' dollars, as we've had over 80 calls for service at this house in the past year. Now think about that for a minute. 80 calls for service, from everything from drugs to fentanyl, deputies being injured, stolen cars, you name it. People, animal complaints, people being arrested, people overdosing, everything, all happening right here at this house and disrupting this neighborhood. So we're tired of it. In addition to all that, we've made buku arrests at this house. Ashley and her team have been working out here every day trying to clean this neighborhood up. The neighbors are tired of it, we're tired of it, and it stops today. Effective today, this house is a part of the sheriff's high-intensity target. We are going to make sure that everybody that comes to this house understands you're a target of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office if you came here to break the law. What I'm telling you is that the neighbors are our partners. They have partnered with us throughout this entire thing. They're tired of it. They've got cameras. They constantly tell us and update us on the criminal activity that's taking place here. We've made a bunch of arrests out of this house, and we're going to continue. The lady you just saw leave, she's the main troublemaker. She's on her way to jail for drugs, possession of meth. We've gotten fentanyl out of this house, everything else. So to the message to the people that come here, the people that live here, or anybody that's coming here to break the law, stop it, knock it off. Get your act together and be a productive member of society, because if you keep coming here, you're not going to be visiting this address, you're going to be visiting my jail. That's what you're going to be visiting. You're going to be on the chain gang, because we've had it. No more. These neighbors deserve peace. They go to work, the hard-working group here, they go to work, and when they come back, they've got to deal with this every day. So it's over. Starting right now, Sheriff's high-intensity target is 132 Bonita Street in Titusville. If you come here, be relatively sure you are on camera, and everybody is going to make sure they share that with us, because we are going to put anybody that comes here and breaks the law to jail. If you want to come here and be peaceful and not disruptive, come on. But if you're coming here to break the law, you're going to end up at the Brevard County Jail.
Awesome. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. That's great. That's so great. So, Sheriff, I'm going to ask Dr. Allen to come on and give her the first, she's going to get the first round at maybe questions or steering the conversation maybe in a different way or highlighting what has already been discussed. So I'm going to highlight you right now, Dr. Allen, add the spotlight, and then I'm going to say thank you to everyone, especially to the sheriff. We're going to stop the live stream to give an opportunity for our students to come on and ask some questions. But you got the first question, Dr. Allen.
So, Sheriff Ivey, I know that you take the good with the bad. I see it myself many times on the live chat whenever I'm watching your videos. So tell us, how do you deal with the negative that you get back from the community, sometimes with the videos and even with the media on occasion?
Yeah. Can I be frank?
Absolutely.
I really don't give a shit about them. I absolutely couldn't care less what the media thinks. I've been doing this for a while, and I'm very blessed to have a community that stands behind us. I'm more worried about protecting my community than I am about hurting somebody's feelings. And I will tell you that usually what happens on our page is, if somebody comes on there and they're being antagonistic, they are cursing, those type of things, we ban them off the page temporarily. The first time it's temporary, and then if they do it again, then it's a longer ban. People are not going to come to a page where that type of stuff's going on. Somebody that goes on and makes a negative comment, generally what happens is our citizens will jump in and start going after them. We don't have to do anything from it. Sometimes I will go on there and respond to people. If they're respectful and they just disagree with us, that's great. I mean, I'm a big George Patton fan, and General Patton believed that if everybody was sitting at the table thinking alike, somebody wasn't thinking. So, if they're just sharing their opinion and they're being respectful, we appreciate that. And I usually try and articulate to them what's going on. If they're nasty, and they're just a cop hater, they get both barrels from me. I don't know if I'm just too old or too set in my ways, or as I said, I just don't care. The media, how I deal with the negative of the media is I don't care. I don't watch the news. I don't. There's a local paper here that I don't deal with them in any capacity. In fact, when they call and they ask for a quote from us, the quote they get from me is, "I don't recognize your newspaper as a legitimate news source, therefore I don't work with you." And if they don't like that, too bad. One of the things that we see in the media, they have shot themselves in the foot. People don't trust them anymore. People, they've exploited and blown so many things out of proportion that nobody trusts them anymore. So we put it out there. Again, transparency is key. I tell our team that if you look up the word transparency in the dictionary, you're going to see the Brevard County Sheriff's Office star. That's what I want to be. So when the investigation's over and we're able to put that out, we do. But at the end of the day, most of the time our citizens come to our rescue. Like I said, they protect us just as much as we protect them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye to our YouTube viewers. Thank you for joining our YouTube broadcast. Make sure that you hit the notifications bell and you subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified when we go live. So thank you again. We're going